Somewhere far above our heads, beyond the mountains, beyond the oceans, lies a world so cold, so silent, so hidden, most of us never think about it. A place where sunlight can vanish for 6 months, where ice is thicker than buildings, and where secrets from centuries ago are now melting into the open. This is the Arctic, the top of the world. And let me tell you, the world's most powerful nations are fighting over it. Let's rewind time. For centuries, people thought the Arctic was just a frozen wasteland. No land, no treasure, no life, just blizzards and polar bears. But legends existed. Stories of a mysterious land called Thule. So what changed? Climate change. The Arctic is melting fast. Ice is disappearing at a rate of 12% every decade. The thickest ice is almost gone. In summer, some parts are now ice-free. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Somewhere far above our heads, beyond the mountains, beyond the oceans, lies a world so cold, so silent, so hidden, most of us never think about it. A place where sunlight can vanish for 6 months, where ice is thicker than buildings, and where secrets from centuries ago are now melting into the open. This is the Arctic, the top of the world. And let me tell you, the world's most powerful nations are fighting over it right now. Not with bombs, but with icebreakers, submarines, and silent claims beneath the snow. This isn't science fiction. This is a real geopolitical battlefield rising from under the ice. And it matters even to us here in Pakistan. I'm your very own Fariha Farrukh. I don't chase headlines. I expose what hides behind them. You're watching 360 Digital English, where we cut through the noise, aim straight at the truth, and fire straight at the target. Part 1, the forgotten history of the Arctic. Let's rewind time. For centuries, people thought the Arctic was just a frozen wasteland. No land, no treasure, no life, just blizzards and polar bears. But legends existed. Stories of a mysterious land called Thule, whispered by Greek explorers over 2,000 years ago. In the 1500s, British and European explorers started pushing north, chasing a dream. The Northwest Passage, a secret sea route through the Arctic that would connect Europe to Asia. Many went, few returned. The most chilling story? The Franklin expedition in 1845. 2 ships, 129 men, they just vanished. No survivors. Their frozen remains were found over a century later, scattered across the ice like ghosts. So who owned the Arctic? That's where it gets very interesting. Part 2, who claimed the Arctic first? In the early 1900s, countries began drawing invisible lines across the Arctic, like slicing up a cake. This was called the sector theory. Canada claimed its slice in 1925. Soviet Union followed, 1926. Denmark used Greenland to make its claim. Norway took parts near Svalbard. America, through Alaska, always kept a quiet eye. But here's the twist. There were no clear rules. So in 1982, the United Nations created a law, UNCLOS, that said, you can own 200 miles from your coast. If you want more, you must prove that the seabed is part of your land. Suddenly, the Arctic wasn't just cold. It became a gold mine, with everyone racing to prove it's mine beneath the ice. Part 3. Why the Arctic matters today. So what changed? Climate change. The Arctic is melting fast. Ice is disappearing at a rate of 12% every decade. The thickest ice is almost gone. In summer, some parts are now ice-free. And guess what the melting revealed? 30% of the world's untapped gas. 13% of the world's oil. Rare minerals like uranium, lithium, cobalt used in weapons, batteries, missiles. Add to that New sea routes have opened, like the Northern Sea Route, which cuts travel from Europe to Asia by 40%. If you control these routes, you control global trade. If you control the energy, you control global power. Part 4. The new Cold War. Who's fighting over it? Now let's talk about the new players, the silent superpowers racing for control. Russia owns half the Arctic coastline, has 40 plus icebreaker ships, including nuclear-powered ones, built 13 military bases in the Arctic, even sent a submarine under North Pole in 2007 and planted a titanium flag on the seafloor. United States controls Alaska, only has 2 icebreakers way behind Russia. Now rushing to build bases, radars, and sign Arctic defense pacts with Norway and Finland. China, no Arctic land, but calls itself a near-Arctic state, building icebreakers, making deals with Russia, investing in Arctic mining, and shipping under its Polar Silk Road plan. Denmark, Greenland, Canada, Norway, all fighting legal battles over the Lomonosov Ridge, a hidden underwater mountain rich in oil and minerals. The Arctic is now the quietest war zone on Earth, where the weapons are legal documents, satellites, and stealth submarines. Part 5. Greenland, Iceland, and secret bases. Let's zoom in on Greenland and Iceland. 2 names you will hear more often now. Greenland is technically part of Denmark, but its location makes it a strategic gold mine. The US even tried to buy Greenland in 2019. Why? It's a perfect spot for military bases, missile detection, and controlling Arctic trade. It also has rare earth minerals used in fighter jets and nuclear tech. Iceland sits near the center of Arctic routes. Used as a spy post during the Cold War, now a hot spot for NATO aircrafts, radars, and intelligence. Part 6. Why the Arctic matters to Pakistan. You might be thinking, we're in South Asia, why should Pakistan care? Well, let me tell you, here's why. As sea routes shift, China's trade patterns will change, and so will CPEC. Arctic resources will affect global oil and gas prices, which directly impacts our economy. Global military tensions, if they start in the Arctic, will involve nuclear-armed states. And remember, when the world powers redraw energy maps and trade routes, countries like Pakistan must be prepared, alert, and informed. Conclusion: the ice empire rises. The Arctic is no longer a frozen desert. It's a silent battlefield, a ticking time bomb of energy, power, and ambition. From ancient myths to lost ships to nuclear submarines under melting ice, the great Arctic game has begun. And this time, the entire world is watching from the shadows. Don't look away, Pakistan, because the next war might be written in the ice. It's me, Fariha Farrukh, signing off. Subscribe to 360 Digital English and do remember to leave your feedback. Take care. Allah Hafiz.